crying, neither shall there be any more pain, for the former things are what? Passed away. Okay, and you will go through it individually. This is where you get into the conversation of the first and the second death. People say, what is the first and the second death? Well, the first and the second death is to say that all of us have to make some type of transformation. They give you this in the book of Corinthians. All of you have to make some type of transformation or be changed or altered. But some of you may not see death. Are you with me? So that's a whole different conversation, but they show you in the movie knowing that when they got to that meeting point, they were taken up and they didn't suffer death. Are you with me? But everyone who was left suffered the death of the judgment of the Son. Are you with me? That came through and purged everybody in the lake of fire. Are you with me? So not only did they die once, there was also being shown or portrayed there what is called the second death. So everybody is said to have to make a transition. So everybody's transition, all your ancestors, all your people are said to have already transitioned, correct? Okay, so then that transition takes place naturally. That's the first death. To avoid the second death is to not be too heavy when you cross over that threshold of what you call a death. And that's what we explained to you in the realm of Duat, or the science of the weighing of the heart ceremony, where a lot of things that you're doing in this reality are being recorded, whether you know it or not. And what we mean by recorded is the only reason why certain people feel guilty is because they're allowing themselves to be weighed down by things that they've done, or the sins that they committed, or basically the transgressions, okay? And one way to deal with that depression of that transgression is to look at the fact that, for one, it was a part of your nature to be able to do so. Okay, you had to deal with that. If you weren't supposed to be able to do it, you would not have been programmed to be able to do it. All right. So there was a part of you that had the power of choice, and you activated on that power of choice, whether you knew it or not, subconsciously or consciously. All right. You made whatever decision you made. All right. Which is why we even say ignorance of the law is no excuse. There's a part of you in your essence that said you could murder, that you could rape, that you could pillage, that you could steal, that you could lie, that you could shoot, that you could rob, whatever people have done in their reality. And that's why they do their best to show you, look, there are deadly sins. Why are we saying deadly? Because, for one, you will perish at one point in time, or pass. You don't have to say perish. You will pass or transition at one point in time or the other, okay? However, if these sins that you've taken on are too deadly, all right, then there's going to be a second death that comes with that. Passing on, and that is when you're too heavy to literally ascend. Are you with me? So it's all science. The ancient Egyptians weren't speaking of some mystical reality. They were explaining to you the same thing they put in the book of Revelation, chapter 14, where they explain what? That those who were able to be received or be redeemed from the earth had no guile, no guilt. It's right there in the word, no guilt before the Lord. They weren't guilty. So when that judgment comes through, or that justice comes through, or that righteousness or ma'at comes through, you have to face ma'at, meaning your heart is on the scale. Are you with me? And you're weighing it against the feather, which is to say, are you going to fly or are you going to descend? Are you going to ascend or descend? Are you with me? When you have to face that, if you just deal with the fact that, first of all, you have the opportunity right now to be your own judge and not run from judgment. All right. You have the opportunity to do that now. That's why we say, look, repent. All right. Change your mind. Rewire your brain, because a lot of things that you've done, all right, have been logged in your brain, have been logged in your heart, have been logged in your tongue, have been logged in your reproductive organs. There are things, bodies, beings, aspects of the self that are still lingering in your essence. When you change your mind, you decide if you want to evict the motherfucker that's been living there too long. All right. Or a part of yourself that you say can't stay here anymore. All right. You literally repent and change your brain. All right. Which is why the salvation doesn't just happen at that point. There's a whole road that I say, what you have to endure to secure. All right. There's a whole road that you have to walk on after that point, where as soon as you say you're going to get things right, then here come the demons. As soon as you say you're going to change the self, you're going to do better, you're going to rise up, here come the demons. And I'm not talking about just people. I'm talking about actual, literal, interdimensional beings who smell you. They say this person is breaking free. All right. And they literally come to try to, like, and I'll tell you how they come in the form of succubi and incubi, as you call them, male and female beings who their whole purpose is to get you to submit. All right. Their whole purpose is, if you're dealing with these beings, let me tell you something. For those of you who've been going on a 90-day journey, whatever many days journey, some of you have experienced this already. Some of you may not have. Some of you probably won't. Some of you probably will. That these beings can sense that energy that's being transmuted. OK, and there's a whole process. A lot of people think the transmutation takes place in one day. It doesn't. It can. All right. But most of the time it doesn't. OK, so transmutation, where people say, well, you got to be careful with this semen retention because you're going to feel this in the womb, the lower area or the growing area. I was like, yeah, that's reality because I experienced it. Let me tell you something. You have to let it ride out, because that's your body saying, OK, that which would have been released has to be reabsorbed. So you literally have to let it ride out some of the times. Or you can do your stretching. OK, or something that I've been doing recently is stand on your head. OK, you stand on your head, let the blood flow in a different direction. All right. You take deep breaths. A lot of things you can do, but sometimes there's no easy way out of it. Okay. Because you're literally coming out of hell. You think these devils are just going to let you pass through without trying to grab you. All right. Because you are one of their sources that feeds them. So as you coming up out of hell, there may be demons that try to grab you. And like I said in the book Rehab, which we may go over, I said what? They're going to scream from the depths of your consciousness. And I mean that. Okay. They're going to say, come back. They're going to say, who do you think you are? All right. And then they're going to manifest in other people. Okay. Other comments, other family members, other people around you say, what are you doing? That doesn't make any sense. There's no scientific evidence for that. And I'm telling you, close your ears to them. All right. Because they don't even know what it's about. Like I said, it don't have anything to do with just no ejaculations. Everything about what? Repenting, the brain. Okay, look at what we on here doing. We on here talking about it. Wherever the world is doing, whatever the world is doing. Right here, right now, we're talking about it. I don't know what you've done. I don't know if you failed. I don't know if you're still on the walk. I don't know if you're deciding to stay on the walk. I'm not here to judge you about that. I got plenty of people that DM me and say, I already failed. All right, only words I have to them is keep walking. Well, okay, if you failed, what are you going to do now? You're going to use that failure as an excuse to relapse or fall back into the old circle or the old lap or the old cycle. You watch NASCAR. Listen, the car or the NAS. Listen, why am I saying NASCAR? Because a car is a body and NES is Neshar or Nushar to say deception. But NES is also to say what? Nasut, or the realm of the material plane. And if you ever watched a NASCAR meet, all right, or pay attention to any of their races, what you say, you ever see like the comedians make a joke about, say, they're making a left turn. I think it was Jeff Dunham. They're making a left turn. They're making another left turn. They're making another left turn. Holy shit, there's a left turn. That's the cycle of life that people get stuck in, and they don't understand it because they're in a material plane caught. Okay, and if I'm making it up, then why is there such thing as a translation of chakra or chakra that says this is a cycle? Some people get stuck in the root cycle and they reincarnate in the root. Or they reincarnate in the sacral. So if you're feeling that in your gut, if you're feeling it, or even around a growing area where there's this bulge, okay, feel it then. Because other than that, you would have ignored it. All right. Somebody lives there and you need to evict them. Okay. And that somebody, you may not, depending on what degree you're on, somebody might need to hear the word demon. Somebody might need to hear the word, oh, this is our lower self. I don't give a fuck what you need to hear. There's another being that lives, all right, in that area that's thriving from that energetic source at that point. And you have the decision whether or not you're going to evict them or listen to them, because they're going to say, nigga, where's the food? And you're either going to feed them or you're going to say, no, I don't even want you here anymore. And you're going to starve them. Same thing with parasites. Listen, if you don't know what medicine to take to get rid of parasites in your body, fast. Because one thing about it, everything has to eat. These parasites have to eat. All right. These astral parasites have to eat. All these, you have to eat bacteria, all these things. If you're trying to get rid of something, all right, that's feeding on you, using you as a host, okay, then fast, move faster. And what happens is you'll realize the reason why, again, we warn people away from certain sins as opposed to virtues, okay, where you say gluttons, all right, deal with a lot of parasites. They have a lot of parasites that live in their body. And a lot of times they're feeding multiple beings at one time and don't understand why they keep getting hungry. You just ate, you're hungry again. You're eating more and more and more and more. You're not just feeding yourself. There are certain parasites that literally live. Why do I like going back to the science? Is because everything I teach can be scientifically traced. I've studied it scientifically. And what these parasites literally do is some of them are able to connect directly to your brain. Okay. And others, because of their position in your intestines. Okay. Because if you don't know this, there's a coherence. All right. And a connection with the brain and the intestine, meaning there's a language of understanding that they have with each other, and there's an actual tasseling or entanglement that takes place on the energetic plane with your brain and your stomach. So when these beings settle in the intestine, or when these beings, and what do I mean by beings? Actual physical parasites. Okay, which means that if there's an actual physical parasite in your body, which most people have parasites in their body one way or the other. Okay, there are some that benefit, some that don't, but most people have parasites in their body. Okay, so some of these parasites are ailing you and you may not understand it. If you have a parasite in your body that's a physical living being, then guess what they also have? A soul or a spirit. Okay, and some of these beings try to get your attention when you're going through the dream world. All right. So why would they do that, FaZe? Let me just explain to you why. Because you think that some of the things you may not understand is you think that just because you're eating food, that the parasite is there for food. Sometimes the parasites are there because of a porn addiction, or sometimes the parasites are there because of a sex addiction, or sometimes parasites are there because of a weed addiction, or sometimes parasites. What are you talking about? There are parasites that feed off of the chemical release, all right, of dopamine. All right. So research everything I'm telling you. And they feed off of that because literally every time you have that, there's a certain chemical that's released, there's certain oils or secretions that take place in the body and they siphon it. Some of them rest right there beneath your Calvary, right there at the base of the skull. You got parasites there that just wait for the release. And then if you may notice, some people may have noticed it, that sometimes you can hear squirming in your brain. All right. You're not tripping. There's a being that is living there. Are you with me? And they actually exist to siphon from you. Are you with me? So they literally have souls. And if you have a soul, which you do, you have a spirit, whatever you want to call it, and you go into the dream plane, you go there. You go into the, sometimes you're caught in between dream worlds when you have the sleep paralysis. Okay. What you may experience is other beings that may have literally attached themselves to your field, all right, or your aura, and they live there with you. Okay. But you can evict them. That's my point. My whole point is you repenting will cause for not only you to evict these beings that are living there without your permission, all right, or with your permission, as a matter of fact, because even if you don't go into a contract on your own accord and you don't know, you're not competent, you can still create a tacit contract with someone, which is just to say you do a contract and you don't know you're doing it. You understand? Or you could be, it's like the ignorance is there, so you don't understand that every action you're doing is really your complicity. All right. And they're still saying, okay, it's okay for me to stay here, because even though there's a part of yourself that I should stop doing this. All right. You listen to this other voice or this other being that's sending out information to you, say, what? Feed me this. And you listen and say, well, this being must want me to be here because it keeps feeding me. All right. The moment that it realizes, though, a lot of times these beings realize you don't want them there anymore. They, a lot of times, oftentimes, will rebel and revolt and fight to stay alive. Okay. Now, I've done this in real time where through my astral projection experience, I was able to reach into, and also my sleep paralysis experiences, I was able to do this, reach into my body and pull out parasites. And I'm not talking about literally like if you were to walk in, you would be able to see my hand going into my stomach. I'm saying you have something else called an astral hand. You mean astral hand alone? No, an astral arm, an astral elbow. You have astral nails. You have astral fingers. You have astral knees. You have astral toes. There are different body parts, okay, that still transfer over and register as body parts in the astral plane or in the dream world. Keep it simple. Go in the dream world. Don't you have a body? Don't you walk around? Don't you feel things? You have a nervous system, a peripheral nervous system. All right. You have sensory input, all the stuff we broke down before. Okay, cool. It's the same way with your sleep paralysis experiences. The reason why you think you're feeling something and hearing something is because you have a nervous system that's activated in that body. You have multiple bodies, by the way. You have a nervous system activated in that body that's able to take in information. So what I was able to do was take my hand in that frequency and reach into my body and snatch out the soul of the parasite that may have been physical. And let me tell you something. Them motherfuckers will tug on for dear life. They will tug on for dear life. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes if they tugging on so hard, it'll feel like you're taking off a piece of yourself. I'm telling you, you're not. You're taking off an aspect of yourself that you know, first of all, is not supposed to be there. Okay? I have people explain it. I was in this, I felt this snake-like thing moving around me. I said you were supposed to grab it and snatch it out. You understand? It's not supposed to be there. Are you with me? And listen, if it were not able to be snatched out, if it wasn't supposed to be snatched out, you couldn't snatch it out. You understand? The same way, no matter how much these beings want to terrorize you, most of the time, I'm only saying most because there are certain beings that can, they can go beyond this rule or this law. But most of the time, them beings that plague people and possess people and taunt people and haunt people, are you with me? Because it's one and the same word, taunt and haunt. They taunt and haunt people in the sleep paralysis or the nightmare realm, okay, or the lower frequency, lower vibratory realms. They can only fuck with you when you're in that state. The moment you cross over back into the beta state, they can't even do shit with you. They can't even touch you. You understand? So my point is this, there are laws set up anyway. If those beings were allowed to fuck with you for real or cause you any real harm, they would be able to, but they're not. They're only in that dream state. Okay, which that doesn't mean that you're not supposed to be doing your best to build up the psychic defenses that I teach you about, that you're not supposed to be doing your best to abstain and stay away from the forces that will cause you to fall into their reality, just to give you that hint, because there's still a such thing as having your cord severed. All right, you could fall too deep into a reality, and a lot of that has happened to a lot of people where you say, well, they died in their sleep. And you say, what were the causes? You say natural causes. What are natural causes? You say they just didn't wake up. Well, chances are that person got caught in a realm and was not able to get back. How do I know that that's a possibility? Because I've gotten stuck before in multiple realities. I've gotten stuck. All right. Let me tell you an example without having to go too deep into that. Some of you have gotten stuck and you didn't know you got stuck. You didn't know that that's what was happening because you woke up and you weren't awake yet. And then you woke up again and you still weren't awake. How many people awakened before, got up, moved around, you're doing the daily tasks, and then you say, wait a minute. And then you wake up again. How many times did that happen to somebody in here? I know somebody, at least one person is going through it where, so, come on, somebody. Come on, somebody. I need one motherfucking here. Come on, somebody. Okay. You know what I mean? I'm like, don't do me like that. Somebody done awakened before and you got up, all right? You went into the bathroom, brushed your teeth. You say, it's going to be a good day, all right? You even got to the point, you put it on your clothes, you in the kitchen, you can cook yourself something, and then you say, wait a minute. Why you say, wait a minute? Let me tell you why. Because there's a shift in the vibration. And that vibration is associated with your brain, your consciousness. And that small shift or that small glitch is what makes you what? Pay attention or become more alert. And the moment you become more alert, you literally start ascending in frequency. And when you ascend in frequency, you go from delta, all right, the different levels of delta, into theta or alpha, all right, then theta, okay, into beta. So the moment you become more alert about something, you start to ascend back into beta. All right. Am I making it up? Or literally the brain waves start to slow down. Okay. The essence of your observation. Listen, because that's what the brain waves are with the electroencephalograms or the EEG technology. They'll show you that. All right. Your brain waves start to slow down when you enter into delta. And delta is like the sleep state. That's the place where you're going to dream. Okay. That's where your dreams start really becoming deep. All right, with me, meaning you're in such a dream state, you will not be able to tell. Most people cannot tell that they're in a dream state unless you're a lucid dreamer, which means that you reserve the ability or maintain the ability to be consciously aware that you're in a dream state or in another reality, all right, as you pass through dimensions or states of observation. You know what I mean? So the moment somebody makes a loud noise around you, what is going to happen? Because that noise was coming from beta and your attention was brought to beta, all right, you become more alert and it speeds you up back to beta. Are you with me? Was one of the reasons why we would talk, don't shake anybody out of their rest violently, because that eruption or disruption could cause them to get stuck. Are you with me? So don't take my word for it, fine. You know, I don't want you to take my word for it. I just want you to remember anytime you may have had these types of experiences, if you haven't, then just deal with the possibility that these things do happen. And you do know about, at least if not, research it, the fact that some people don't wake up. Some people go to rest, and it's not to cause you to have any fear. I'm just telling you, this is your reality. Sometimes people go into the dream world and they don't return. So think about what I'm explaining to you. They go into a dream world and they're experiencing a world, but they don't return to this world. What's to say that they're not still in that world? You with me? Because you have multiple bodies that can do multiple things, and multiple parts of the brain that can do multiple things. So it's not like you go into the dream world and your body dies. Are you with me? Because your heart's still beating. Your brain takes care of that. Okay? Unless you're a sleepwalker, everything that's voluntary shuts down. Now, the sleepwalkers, there's still certain parts of the brain that activate, with the exception of the prefrontal cortex, by the way, because that doesn't activate, which means that they're not consciously, all right, aware of the fact that they're moving around and doing all these things. Where you come back and they can't remember. They don't even know that they were making those decisions, which means another aspect of the self or the body takes on a different type of consciousness. I know it gets deep, but there's a science to everything I'm telling you. None of this is no spiritual shit. It's all scientific. Okay, so when you really learn, you say, well, there's a possibility that these people get stuck. There's a possibility these people can't return. All right. And that's why we would talk certain things like don't violently awaken anybody. You know what I mean? Be cautious of the realms you enter into. If you walk into a realm in your dream state and your hair stand up, exit. All right. Simple. Because the same way you got shit like intuition over here and basic instincts over here. All right. You have basic instincts that are advanced. All right, in that realm or that reality. Even your emotions, as I explained to certain people, I said, look, you go into the dream world, you know you're heightened in your senses because you'll feel pain, like emotional pain or sadness or happiness in the dream is amplified. Okay, you come back over here, you say, what the fuck was I even in love like that over there for? Why was I even laughing at that joke? It wasn't even that damn funny. But your senses are heightened in certain realities. Okay? So it gets interesting because here's another thing to take into consideration, that as you go into lower vibratory world, you're still rising up in frequency. Okay, I know it's gonna sound real. You gotta bear with me on this one because time and all of that will still pass by faster. Okay, and you're in delta, but you're not in delta operating as delta. It's only delta to you because you're operating from your center in beta. But that delta becomes your beta. Are you with me? You think you're awake in that dream, but you're not really awake in that dream. You're only conscious in that dream, but you're not conscious that you're conscious in that dream. You feel me? So you're moving slower in your essence compared to here. However, you're moving faster because you just went in a different reality, and that reality becomes actualized for you. Are you with me? And that means the light is there, the sound is there, all of that. And you know that it's a faster reality because time moves faster in that reality. all right, than it does here. So you can dream. So you say, I'm going to sleep this off. I'm going to just go to sleep. And then, you know what I'm saying, it'll be the AM. When we were children, you know what I'm saying, you're looking forward to the first day of school where you go lay down and you just go to rest. And you try to, but sometimes it keeps you up because you're so excited. But you know that if you go to rest and sleep through something, it'll speed up time. Is it really speeding up time? Truthfully, it isn't. It's just that from your observation, it is. So who could tell you it didn't? You feel what I'm saying? Time speeds up when you observe time speeding up. Are you with me? So when you go into the dream world and you're observing time speed up, okay, it's not speeding up for this body that's over here, which means that this body is operating off a different state of consciousness within itself. You with me? But over there it is. So to you, this realm is slow. But to us, that realm is slow, which is why when we pick it up on our readings, it's saying these waves are moving slower, delta waves. You get me? I said all of this to say that the repentance takes place in the mind. The ascension or speeding up in frequency takes place in the mind. If you go from delta to beta and you sped up in frequency, then guess what happens when you go beyond beta? You understand? Guess what happens when you go beyond these states? You think it's awakened when your senses become heightened. And one of the ways I'm telling you can strengthen that awareness, because that's what it all boils down to, self-awareness. Even when we're just breaking down the science of noesis, it's still to say what? Self-awareness. When you break it down to self, all right, or meta, like I broke down the word meta noein. All right, what would meta mean? Meta means beyond, but meta also means if I'm dealing with something based off of meta, I'm saying this is the thing that's pertaining to the thing itself. So it's self. Are you with me? I know people may not know that, but you go research what I'm telling you. Meta would be the self. So if I say meta knowing, what am I saying? If knowing is knowing and meta with me is to say the self, then meta knowing is to say knowing the self. And it's a word that gives you the word repent. All right. Is it a coincidence? No. You understand? Is it a synchronicity? Absolutely. Okay, if it was a coincidence, it would only be two incidents that line up. But for all of these things to line up how they line up, no, you're not dealing with a coincidental realm. This is not by chance. Okay, this is what it was supposed to be. All right, and it happened for a what reason, which still gives you another translation, because when you're saying reason, you're still going to the knowing or the knowing. So once you realize that, okay, or realize it, you with me, it becomes real for you. You say, well, all of this happens for a reason. And then you start saying, well, there's a reason. And what am I saying? In essence, I'm saying the real sound. All right. And I'm saying the real sound. Okay. I'm saying that there's a true vibration moving in this realm and I can know it. And that's why he gave you the movie Knowing. And it was about the sun, the true light, which is to say the real sun, the reason. And remember when the stones were offered to the people, the Georgia Guide stones, they said the Georgia Guide stones. And you cheered when they tore down Guide's stones in Georgia. The same time, in the same way they tore down the stones or the pillars of God on a holy land called Tamaray in Putnam County. You understand? In Georgia. There's another erection that took place, or stones that were put up on the land that said, these are our guide stones. We're going to guide you in a realm of reason. Let these stones be what? For an age of reason. Exactly. Real sun. So remember, son is Sony, sound. Don't ever forget that. When I tell you Masonic, is to say the sonic or the sound of the mother. Masonic. Mason, the sound of the mother, which is the all right, the So the real sound is up there in your crown where the throne is. Are you with me? That's what the real sound is. The crown, the corona, the halo. Hello. You say, hello. E.T., phone home. Hello. Are you with me? Because why? Hell is low. And when you come out of hell, you're no longer low anymore. Now you're in what? The halo. Are you with me? Halo. And okay, so the real sound.
Things at night. It's the silence so loud. Are there children playing games in the course of your memory lane? Did you grow up way too fast? Is the happy the new sad? If you could re-begin, would you do that? Would you do that? Taking matters into your own hand. Are you a grown man or woman now? Did it all go in accordance to plan? Who can you sue for what became of you? Have a look inside your soul. What you see is what you know. What do you see? Nothing to see or all to see. Question yourself and no one else, and no one else. Magic happens when you're dancing lonely to your own beat, watching your own feet. I will never feed you lies. The truth is the dark and not the light. It's in the light and not the side. It's in the side and not the eye. It's in the eye. Question yourself Question yourself and no one else. Patty cake, bakers, man. Wait for the game to end. Hand in hand like patty cake, bakers, man. Until we're safe again and you'll be safe again. We'll be safe again. Trust in yourself and no one else. And you won't fail. You won't fail. Are you hearing things at night? Is the silence so loud? Are there children playing games in the course of your memory lane? Did you grow up way too fast? Is the happy the new sad? If you could re-begin, would you do that? Would you do that? Taking matters into your own hand. Are you a grown man or a woman now? Did it all go in accordance to plan? Who can you sue for what became of you?
Around you, messages in the sigils, messages in the characters, the letters, the colors, the schools, the names of the schools, the names of the characters who come out as teachers and idols and stars and celebrities and, you know, every event that ties to another event. All of this is programmed. There's a message in it that once you get it, you can move forward or progress. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, gematria it's not something that I ever looked into to do myself. I studied it, but I never did it myself because I was introduced to a science that was above it. And it was basically alchemy, the most basic way to explain it. And it was to say that not only can you use because gematria was based off of, if you remember, the Hebrew alphabet, all right, or Aleph Beta. That's what it was based off of. Gematria goes to the numbers that they have and all of that. The alchemy itself says the people, the name, when this person walked up to you in your life and you just met them, what color did they have on? You feel what I'm saying? I met a sister. I knew I was able to align with the sister by multiple things. For one, the name that the sister came up under, the color that the sister was wearing when we met, it was all different types of things. You know what I'm saying? And key things had to be present. Or it's like once you get to that degree of mastery, you understand, oh, that would have never worked. Like I maintained literally to the point, I was a virgin for 20 years. And I know we say 20 years like that's a long time, but really you got to count the fact that the first 7, 8, 9, 10 years don't really count. So I'm basically a virgin for 10 years you really want to deal with. You know what I'm saying? Meaning before I was 20, all right, I was a virgin. And when I turned 20 and going on 21, before then I ran into a sister that we went to school with. I broke it down into How to Love Again book. But we would have never connected or collided if it were not for simple aspects, simple pieces that said this aligns. You know what I'm saying? So you'd be able to read it and say, well, this word means this. This color that they have means it. What's their favorite color? It's for a reason. Okay, then what do they drive? You know what I'm saying? Why are they driving that? Are you with me? Like the situation that happened with LifeWave and other sisters and all the stuff that went down with that. I paid attention to the fact that the two sisters that were surrounding LifeWave was two sisters. All right. When we went to the Spawn Divots, we met up. LifeWave sat in the center. One of the sisters sat on his left. Another sister sat on his right. Sunrise sat to the left of me. Atmos sat to the left of me. All right. So basically it was really Sunrise was on a whole different plane. He wasn't even there for real. he was his ass was in a different world. But it was me, Atmos, and across from the table there was LifeWave, one of the sisters to his left, one of the sisters to his right, and they both drove a Chrysler. Are you with me? I paid attention. I said, what are odds? There are no odds. You have to ask that question, though, just so you remind yourself. There are no odds that both of them drove a Chrysler. You know, you may not know what these things mean, but that's the point. You're supposed to ask, and then it's revealed to you. And one of the mantras that you can, I wouldn't even say a mantra, one of the affirmations that you can hold for yourself, you say one and the same. Okay, it is one and the same. The affirmation that you can hold for yourself when it's time for you to receive information, say, I'm open to receive. I'm open to receive, because a lot of people may not understand that the state that they're in, okay, a lot of times you closed off from information, especially when you think you already know and you don't know, which is worse than not knowing. You understand? When you think you already know, a lot of times people close themselves off from what could have been revealed for them or to them. Okay? So I'm open to receive. I'm open to receive. You understand? That's if you want to find something out and you ask a question about it. So again, what is it about? Repentance. What is a repentance? You repent as in you change your mind. The literal meaning is to reroute when you say shuba. Shuba. You know what I'm saying? When I tell you, when the push comes to shove. And I'm saying two things. When the push comes, shove. All right? When it's time, when you feel that force coming, shove or shub means to repent. And you change your mind. And if you don't know, by looking out and feeling out this realm right now, that the push has come. I don't know what to tell you, because the push has come. You are being motivated or urged in a direction of shubha or shub. All right? To change your mind. All right? Meta noin. Think or observe yourself is what it's really saying, literally in Greek. And if you observe yourself, what did Pythagoras say? Man, know thyself. All right, and you'll be able to understand all of the sciences of the universe or the celestials outside of you. It's where a lot of people get know thyself from. They don't even know that they're getting it from a Caucasoid, because there's a lot of times the same people who, I'm not saying that the Caucasoids is the only ones who spoke it, but a lot of people don't know that they're really quoting directly from a Caucasoid, Pythagoras, all right, who at least appears in this realm as a Caucasoid in Greek, all right, or in Greece, who was supposed to be some philosopher. Are you with me? So this philosopher left a statement to say, what? As within, so without. You will know yourself. All right, exactly. Think and observe thyself, and then you'll be able to know the realm around you, and vice versa. Are you with me? So check this out. Knowing means to think, observe. Knowing comes from when you observe and you think. That's why the first thing I did when I came on here, I played what? Racism turned you away from Christ. Racism, because a lot of people started to say, well, there's no way Jesus could have been white. And then you have to, it's like you really have to deal with this. What if the motherfucker was? Think about this. What if the nigga was Caucasian? What if there was a nigga named Jesus that was Caucasian? I'm not saying that it is, I'm not saying that it isn't, but just think about this real quickly. What if there was? What the message this person was bringing, would that be an issue? Was it really an issue when they're telling you to strengthen the spirit, when they're telling you to get your life in order, yourself in order, your affairs in order, handle people with love and care and all sort of stuff? If they were really teaching that, would it have mattered that it was a Caucasoid? Would it have mattered that it was melanin recessive, melanin dominant? Would that really have been the determining factor of whether or not you were going to listen? And if you're going to tell me that that is the determining factor, then you're a part of the problem. Now, we already know the science and never recorded him to be a Caucasoid. That wouldn't even have made sense for the time period, the geography, or none of that. Okay, it's just that because people think that that's what it's about, they cut themselves off, again, from the sciences, thinking that they know what they're talking about and don't even understand that those stories were already recorded before the Bible ever popped up. Before they ever put together that compilation book, which most of that it is Rome and the rest of they spins on shit with Paul and his epistles and, you know, all the letters he wrote and books, and he think this and he said, let me get this another character, Timothy, and there's there's really just, when you think about it, the most basics, okay, the basic information before leaving Earth was explained through every walk of life. All right. So it's like, it's not the race is not just what somebody was wearing and all this other stuff. That's a part of it. And that's why I tell you, look, it even backfires, because in all actuality, you still have to ascend, which means you have to still go from black to white. The whole purpose of the Moors teaching is to say, what? You change your status, right? It means to change your state. And what do the Moors teach? You're not black, you're white. Okay, cool. So are you speaking to black people or are you speaking to white people? I'm not talking about race. When you're telling somebody they're not black, all right, that they're white, are you speaking to a black person or are you speaking to a white person? Meaning, are you speaking to a person who doesn't know self or are you speaking to a person who knows self? Are you with me? Do you really know that? Okay, that if somebody comes up under this code or this color or this patina, all right, or this association, that may be for a reason. And you may not understand their reason. Can you deal with the person beyond just the word that's being associated with the person? Okay, like if somebody says, well, you call yourself black and you're dead, why would you curse them? You know what I'm saying? It's not that say that if they call themselves black, they're dead. It's if they're dead, they're dead. And remember, you have to say that it's not just dead, which a lot of times the brothers know to say that. You're really saying dead in the eyes of the law, all right, or a dead body, okay? You know what I'm saying? That's what you're really saying, but you're not saying it to say that the person is literally dead. And I know they don't know. I know they don't say that the person is literally dead, but the point is you're saying to them that calling themselves black is saying that they're dead, is to say that every time they call themselves black, you agree that it means they're dead. All right. Could you take control over the black word and shift the frequency of it? Do you have the power to do that? Well, you would have to have the power to do that when you really go into the linguistics and say, well, mar or more still ties you to the word black. It's like you really can't get away from that. So in all actuality, why would that be that? Because Moors or more come up under the red color. All right. Mars. Listen. And the war is to fight to get away from the black. Okay. Or out of the darkness. That's what it's all about. So what is the root chakra connected to? The ground, or the black chakra. Are you with me? So that's what it's about. So all this has to happen in the brain. Everything that I'm talking about, whether you say noesis, which the word noesis means to perceive something, right? And then gnosis means to perceive something or to know something. Both of these things say the same thing. And you say noem. Another way to say noem is to say a word that means to tremble or to shake, which brings you to the Islamic faith, where you say, well, you have taqwa. All right, which means some people think it means fear, but really it means a tremblance or a reverence to what's called, or who is called Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, or Allah ta'ala for sure. All right, we'll say your reverence to Allah allows for you to be humble, for one, allows for you to take that journey of being in the submissive state, all right, or in the peaceful state, all right, on your journey to be back into the bosom of that which is Allah, in the daughter of Islam, or in the heavenly place, or the peaceful place. Everything is saying the same thing. So if it were to say knowing means to shake or tremble, watch this. Well, I don't get it, FaZe. Well, how to shake and tremble tied to knowing something? Well, if you go from the state of unknowing to the state of knowing, you just ascended, all right, or graduated if it took you a while, all right, but you ascended, okay, and went into a higher plane. In order for that to happen, you have to shake, meaning there has to be some type of vibration that causes you to ascend. If something ascends, it vibrates faster or it shakes, okay? If you were to take your hand, I'm not telling you to do it, if you were to take your hand and just shake it, and just keep shaking that shit, after a while, all right, it's going to heat up.
Why did you cry when the time came? Didn't you know we the right here? I didn't come from your time frame. Time to go back to my plane. Cause these days I'm not feeling the same. I'm getting tired of conducting a train. These folk gon' do what they do. Whether or not I'm around, it's the same thing. Whether I'm around here or not, I'm sure. I'm pure as I'm pure, and pure as pure. I stand at the door. Behold, I come quickly, faster than before. Whether I'm around here or not, I'm sure. I'm pure as I'm pure, and pure as pure. Be cautious. Distractions in action. Don't it look again, it ain't your playmate. That's a motherfucking demon in khakis. They gon' put on the road for sure. Right there with you in a uniform shirt. Looking over your shoulder at test time. Strike them off, they gon' do their own work. Do their own work. Because whether I'm around here or not, it's yours. Your choice, your choice. Why did you cry when the time came? Didn't you know we the right here? I didn't come from your time frame. Time to go back to my plane. Cause these days I'm not feeling the same. I'm getting tired of conducting a train. These folk gon' do what they do. Whether or not I'm around, it's the same thing. Whether I'm around here or not, I'm sure. I'm pure as I'm pure, and pure as pure. I stand at the door. Behold, I come quickly, faster than before.
The molecules in that hand to shake and tremble. And your heating up is your corona being activated. Your heating up is you becoming the elect or electrified, which is why I told you, what did I say? In the year 2024, by the number 9, which you say November, by the number 9, if people are not electing themselves, we have a problem. You may think I'm only talking about presidency, but you'll understand when I roll out the campaign for God, when I say God for president, okay? And I'm remember or remind you that precedence is to say precedence, all right? Not just as you say God for precedence, then you say what? I will make all things new. And you're calling forth the same way you've been told. And ask yourself a question. Why would you not repent? Okay, watch this. If I explain to you all of this about the word repent, I didn't make it up. I went, Googled it, showed it to you, said, look, it's all right there. If I explain all of this to you about the word repent, why would you not repent? In a time where you look around, everything, all these things are going on, people are losing their mind. People don't know their left from their right. Motherfuckers is worried about hamburgers, cookies, and cell phone sounds, right? You might need to repent because changing your mind means that you won't be a part of the people who are going through the turmoil. You won't be pulled off of your straight and narrow, meaning distracted. Because remember, a track, all right, is a track as in something that is aligned to carry a vehicle, all right, and also a track as in a time period, all right? And to distract someone is to throw them off of their track, meaning to pull them out of their alignment, throw them out of alignment, okay? Meaning what? They were meant to be on this line and you took them off of it, all right? And if you just say alignment, the word A is a prefix to say against something. And alignment is say you're meant to line up with this, but you go against it. So if somebody pulls you out of alignment and distracts you, you with me, with these fucking hamburgers and shit, then, you know, they're a part of a realm of turmoil, a realm of distraction themselves or confusion themselves. You don't have to be. That's why I tell you, current events should not control your life. Current events shouldn't control your life. If you get in control or strung along, and I'm saying that for a reason, strung along or chained along by current events, all right, then you're not present. You with me? Because every instance, listen, that you thought was the now happened so frequently that you don't understand all you were doing was frequenting, listen, different areas on a timeline that you did not shape, form, or fashion. You understand? You have no say-so in it. They decide whether or not it's A, Z, K, P, M, L, T, U. They decide that for you. And you say, well, I guess I'll go with M then. But they already told you to go with M. Well, I guess I'll go with A then. I guess I'll go with C. They line these points up. Are you with me? And the way to avoid that is to say, I control not only my realm, what I do, my actions. I'm in control of that. Like with me, watch how much of a super being you become. Not talking about no superhuman, like you're gonna be able to teleport and levitate and do all the other December 21st, 2021 ass shit. I'm not saying that. I'm saying watch how much of a super being you become, all right? And you become Beyonce, all right? Meaning beyond what these motherfuckers say. I don't know what the hell they talking about. But Beyonce is a word that means supreme, all right? And you will surpass others. And what happens? You become Beyonce knows. Because Beyonce knows what the fuck going on. If anybody knows, Beyonce knows, and she say that shit all the time. All right? And nigga that's with her know too. But why would I say knows or knowledge or no less? All right? Because you have a decision at that point. You're either gonna know less or you're gonna stand on top of that hill, which is what knows means, or that summit. All right? And you're gonna overstand that. When you walk up that mountain, you'll overstand. You'll have an overstanding and you'll stand on the mountain, which means you still surpass others because a lot of motherfuckers is not going up the mountain. Right? It's a damn phase. Do you ever rest? And I say, no, I don't. Until I get to the top. And I just said it today. I said, one day I'll be able to rest. But I can't ever rest, listen, until I get to the top of the mountain. And you better not ever rest either until you get what I'm saying? Mount Everest, if you ain't overstanding. You better not ever rest either until you get to the top. And a lot of people gonna look at you like you crazy. Say, nigga, that's a long way to go. It is a long way. All right? It's a long walk. But what Pops teach? A long walk on a short path. And if you hear me say, we got a long ride, short street, that's what I'm referring to. Because from the year 2000 to the year 2030 was the latter part of that. And a lot of people don't understand that. It's not over. If the walk was over, I wouldn't be walking. If the walk was over, I wouldn't be saying walk with me. I'd be saying follow me like everybody else be saying. Follow me over here to fucking nowhere. You know what I'm saying? Keep walking with me because they think that they've severed the path. They haven't. All right? And even if they did, they don't understand that we were trained to jump. All right? Far lengths and distances. We can jump like a motherfucker. You know what I mean? And get over to the other side. All right? So keep traveling. Repent. Change your mind. All right? I'm going to take a quick little journey break. We're going to press the play on the teaching for a second, and then we get into the rehab book. All right? And we bring it around to a close after that. If anybody wants the books, because there's 10 books going out now, burn the fire down in your eyes, that they won't be offended or intimidated by your gaze. Okay? And that's what I'm telling you. You have to know that you have that power moving through you. There's nothing wrong with knowing that at all. Okay? But when they go in and give you these descriptions and comparisons, and they say that their eyes like a flame of fire, that's that power of the soul. It moves different from you melanin and melanin dominant beings. Don't ever let anybody play you out. All right? Don't let anybody play you like melanin dominance isn't special or that it isn't important. It is important, but it'll be in vain that it was if you don't do what you're supposed to do as your role in nature. If you don't do what you're supposed to do to get this realm back in cosmic order. Who better to get this realm back in cosmic order than the ones who have the rhythm moving through their soul? And you know you have the rhythm moving through their soul. What do they call your music? Soul music. What do you call it? Rhythm and blues. You understand? You move differently in this realm. You should understand it. You know what everybody else knows. It would seem that we're the only ones who don't understand it. That's why they want hip-hop to be the way that it is now. That's why they want our music. Why is it that our music has to be the only music that seems to be leading us to pure destruction? Okay? And we're supposed to be the most rhythmic people on the earth, the most in tune to rhythm. That's not a secret. So if you're the most in tune to rhythm, your hair grows up to the sun. You stand in the sun and you become enriched. Don't ever let anybody tell you that that means nothing. Okay? But don't also allow for it to be in vain that you have this vessel. All right? That you have a role in nature to get this realm back in order. Don't let it be in vain. Take these things back. Okay? And don't let these people try to tell you that that's a metaphor either, what I was telling you about when they talk about the fine brass. Don't let anybody tell you that either. No, it's a simile. All right? Now, if I say you are a star in the sky, that's a metaphorical statement to say that you shine bright. Or it can mean you're far away. Or it can mean that you're distant. Or it can mean a million things. But if I say you shine bright like a diamond, that's a similar or simile comparing you to specifically be like a diamond. Okay? So we're very clear. So those are two different figures of speech. They're alike, but I'm saying that when they said his feet were like refined or burnt brass, that's what they meant. That's to tell you, think of, or go and look at Google, find a burnt brass image. Go do it now. Go type in burnt brass and go to images. And you'll be able to see what his feet look like. All right? So not only the color, but the radiance, the reflection of burnt brass. So that's the same type of effect. If you ever saw a melanin dominant person sweating in the sun or look at yourself sweating in the sun, all right? They shine and they reflect. You can see the sun reflecting off of their melanin. That's the only way you can see that on any other group of people on earth is if their skin is dark or tan. All right, so not Caucasian or pale, where you see the reflection or the radiance of the sun beaming off of somebody. You know what I'm talking about. You've seen the movies where someone's standing there, a great black man, as you would say, all right, and you see the sun beating off of them. There's a glow that occurs, all right, and you can see the process of enrichment happening in their melanin in real time. So people got stuck, is my point, on the color image that wasn't even in the book or the description, okay? So that's like somebody saying, yo, they hate the movie Toy Story because got shot. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't even, that's not the depiction at all. The image of Christ that you see has nothing to do with the chronicling. It has nothing to do with the story. That's them deceiving the whole world just like it was written down that they would be able to do. And if you don't have any clue about the extraterrestrial part of this conversation, then you'll be among the people that's full on both sides. I'm talking about both sides.
Thanks.
And they said what happened. You can refer to Revelation 12:7-9, all right? Or you can go Matthew 24:24. Where it said, for there shall arise false Christs and false prophets, and they'll show you great signs, and they're going to show you all these great wonders. And they said if it was possible, that they would be able to deceive the elect themselves, the very elect. Mm-hmm. Okay? As a matter of fact, real quickly, let me get this. Let's go real quick to Matthew, and let me show you 24. All right? Let me read for you 24 so that we can see what's actually happening right now. Okay? And you'll be able to pay attention because Jesus, if you think about it, he was a woke nigga. He was one of them woke ones. He was real woke. All right? A leader of the consciousness. Okay? Or thought leader, whatever you want to call it. Not somebody that was accepted amongst everybody and all. No, they hated him. Sound familiar? And here we go. Matthew 24, I'm going to read it for you. And I want you to pay attention to the symbolism and the signs and the things that I'm going to be saying to you that can show you how important this person is. Okay? No matter what name you want to call him, that's a whole different conversation. But him and his family, they're important to this story. And they're so important that you can't remove them because they're not just in the Bible. They're everywhere all over the earth. Krishna, all these other people, redeemers, reformers coming down out of the sky, down to the planet earth, saying the same thing he's saying. Okay? So Matthew 24, and Jesus went out and departed from the temple. And his disciples came to him for to show him the buildings of the temple. And Jesus said unto them, see ye not all these things? Verily I say unto you, there shall not be left here one stone upon another that shall not be thrown down. And as he sat upon the Mount of Olives, the disciples came unto him privately, saying, tell us, when shall these things be? And what shall be the sign of thy coming and of the end of the world? Let's stop right there. They're asking him, they know for sure that there is a coming of the end of the world. They are aware of that. Okay? But they want him to clear up for the future purposes. So what are they asking for? Really, if you want to be serious, okay, they're using Jesus as some sort of medium, like they say divination, all right, to access something about the future. And he was allowing for them to know what those signs would be. Doesn't mean that it's evil, but he was letting them in on when they were supposed to know. But he said it in a way that most people wouldn't be able to understand, all right, unless you were paying attention to the rest of these stories. And I can break it down. All right, but maybe we can take a whole other room on Matthew itself and show you how the prophets or the prophecies have played out exactly as he was uttering that people didn't think was a prophecy book. Okay? All right. So he said what? He said unto them, take heed that no man deceive you. Why was that important to start that way? Why? Well, because everybody's going to be talking about they know when the day is going to end. The world's going to end. All this stuff, all these other prophecies and things supposed to happen in 2012. And now you got people who were just repeating now. They're repeating Malachi York. They don't want to pay homage to him. They don't want to say anything in his direction as far as life. But then they'll talk about the Agenda 2030. Where did you get Agenda 2030 from? Because it's in the Holy Tablets. Where did you get it from, the Seven Thunders? Where did you get these things from? Now everybody's screaming at Agenda 2030 now. Go look up Dr. York Agenda 2030. I promise you'll be able to find what I'm telling you. Okay, so they're not the ones who received it. So what are they talking about? Then they're doing rooms on it. And I'm saying again, that's still him. I'm telling you to go to him and see what he said. Someone who was also in tune with these people. And for some reason, here's the weird thing. For some reason, when you're in these rooms and dealing with people, I think that they think they're the only one who is supposed to have some sort of ability. Because as soon as you pull up other people's abilities and what they've been able to do and show their works for, this is just a belief system. Now it's just anybody, you know what I'm saying, that I'm talking about or trying to show you to, I'm just making this up. You think you're the only ones who, first of all, these people don't have the abilities, but let's say they did. They think they're the only ones who did. All right? You're looking at all these stories that are showing you evidence of people who also have the abilities that you're claiming to have. And it's still confusing the people. You understand? So what do you say? He said, take heed that no man deceive you. Don't be deceived by these false prophets, these false messengers. All right? For so it said, many shall come in my name, saying, I am Christ, and shall deceive many. There are two ways that you're able to look at that. Many shall come in my name, saying, I am Christ, and shall deceive many. All right? Don't let people trip over quotation marks or any of that. I am Christ. They're saying that many shall come in my name and say that he is Christ. All right? So a lot of the deception came from the Christians first, because they were saying that he was Christ. Come on. And said that they would deceive many. Those people who come in that name. So if you're confused about what I'm saying, a lot of people would say that they were going to come in his name at one point in time. He was going to say, depart from me. I don't even know you. Get away from me. You're a worker of iniquity. I don't know you. All right? I never knew you. But then we come in your name. Whose name? Christian. Christ. All right? When did we say that his name was Jesus Christ? Or are you talking about a title that comes with Jesus? Because most of these people, you only know them by their name, first name in the scripture. You don't see too many last name this, last name that, like you're in a modern day time. Okay? So they're going to deceive many. And another way is people are going to say literally that they are him. And they're going to deceive many. Okay? Now, would the disciples be deceived? Because he's talking about something that's going to come in the future. The disciples are no more. All right? So they're supposed to break this down and send it down to their children, is what I'm explaining to you. And he said, ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars, but don't be troubled. See to it that you are not troubled. For all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. So all these people talking about this supposed to happen, that's supposed to happen, and then it'll be the end of the world. No, that's not the end. The end is not yet. They said nation was going to rise against nation. Has that happened? It's happening now. Kingdom against people happening. Kingdom against kingdom happening now. And there shall be famines and pestilences and earthquakes in diverse places happening right now. And they said that all these are the beginning of sorrows, meaning you ain't seen nothing yet. Then they said, then they shall deliver you up to be afflicted and shall kill you. And ye shall be hated of all nations for my name's sake. What happened to your leaders? What happened to your leaders? Did not Malcolm X come up under Isa or Jesus Christ? The order that he came up under was not of Isa, Jesus Christ? Or say he was a Muslim. Yes, that is the order of Jesus Christ, Isa. The most respected, most renowned prophet in the whole book, the Quran. If you know, you know. You understand? And they said that he was going to come, Prophet Rasulullah Muhammad, and speak highly of Jesus and not turn away from him. So when Malcolm came out of under Islam, Isa, law and master, to keep things in order, as the Honorable Elijah Muhammad did, as the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, right, did, or the Minister Louis Farrakhan also did, right, even to this day, they came up under the order that was saying, let's take these things back to order. Okay? Now, when Malcolm was killed, and when Martin was killed, was Martin now also up under the order of Jesus Christ? He was under that order, okay, as a Christian. So whether it was Christian or Islam, whoever, what order they came up under, whatever nation they came up under, if they were talking about bringing things back to order and righteousness, then that was the order of Yeshua, salvation, okay? So what is the problem? The problem is that if you come up under that order, you are a target. Okay? Now, anything standing on lawlessness, they don't mind it. Don't tell me that this industry is set up for Jesus Christ, or that the industry is set up as the enemy. If you're trying to tell me the enemy is Jesus Christ, this industry doesn't stand up. I'm not talking about just the music. I'm talking about the movies, all of that. They are against Christ. They will mock him in a second. They will make a mockery of him. These people are for the devil. You can see all of their works, everything that they produce, everything they're trying to tie people back to is of the opposition, bringing things out of order. Okay? So when we're saying again, you will be killed, they were talking about your leaders, and most of your leaders have been killed and rose up and persecuted at the righteous name's sake. For what name's sake? Righteous name's sake. They'll be hated of all nations for his name's sake, which is righteousness. And then, if you're paying attention, right, because let me break something down to you. Malachi Zodak means angel or messenger of righteousness. Melchizedek, messenger of righteousness. So anyone who came up under this order of Melchizedek, you're also coming up under the name of righteousness to right or rectify things that are happening in the earth plane. All of you incarnates. We know who you are because when you speak, we know your voice. Because, do you understand that? It's a familiar voice. The same way if you have a brother and you go away for a while, you come back around to your brother and your brother speaks in the other room and say, yo, is that Jack? Yeah, that's Jack. Yo, I know that voice anywhere. Okay, we know who's who. We don't care nothing about these people using verbiage and all these other jargon and terminology. We don't care nothing about people acting like they woke. We know exactly who you are. As soon as you open your mouth, we hear you. Come on. You understand that? So these people who coming up under righteousness, we know who you are. And then they said, many shall be offended and shall betray one another and shall hate one another. All right, we're right here in that day and time. You got all this stuff. Look at this app. This is just Clubhouse. It's just an app. People can't even get along with digital pixels. They can't get along with digital pixels. Looking at a screen, they can't get along. What's going on with all this list shit? All these people arguing over who the best people on Clubhouse. You know what I'm saying? You had somebody trying to speak reason and say, yo, why don't y'all just come together? Why don't y'all just put y'all money together, work on something? These people ain't trying to do that. You know what I mean? And it's just a phone. It's an app where you get to just hear people's voice. And it's still, they're not holding up to the voice. It's just the algorithm of the tone. And people are still standing in opposition and hating one another. And they still offended by each other. You understand? They can't stand together at all. Now, I'm not saying that you have to stand together. But I'm saying look at all the chaos unfurling on an app where you have a lot of powerful voices. And if they did finally figure out what they should be working on versus trying to come out against anybody who's standing on it for real, then you can move further. It's a powerful app if you allow it to be. But that's what we say, they shall be offended. Most people will betray one another, and they'll hate one another. It's all throughout our community. They said, many false prophets shall rise and shall deceive many. Let me tell you something. Some people might not want to hear this. That's happening in your conscious community. All right? We already saw what we saw with Christianity.
Boom. So let's cut out all that. Phase one, Omari just started coming out, attacking the conscious community randomly, you know what I mean, trying to get some clout. These were the Clubhouse days. All right, you ain't hear what I just said? That the false prophets were going to come from where? The conscious community. And now you seeing these people out here. Well, a lot of y'all been seeing them and didn't know that that's what they were. And then I stepped to them one by one, one by one, one by one. And then you got to see one by one. This is not a prophet. This is someone who is profiting and profiting only. But they are not profiting or prophesying. You see? Matter of fact, it don't even got to be these big ones. There's a few people now. I saw this new thing. I just went to Clubhouse last night. I stepped back through there. And I'm seeing this new thing they're doing, where they calling themselves apostles or apostles. They're calling themselves apostles and they're calling themselves prophets in these Clubhouse rooms. Christians gathering together as apostles and prophets. Okay, so let me see what's going on in here. So I walk in and immediately one of the sisters, that's the moderator, is speaking in tongues. Okay, so I commented in the chat. I said, what language was that? The tongue speak. What language? Now, nobody responded immediately. But then she came back around and said, and who is this one? Faze. Faze, are you there? Is it Faze? Am I saying it right? So yeah, you said it right. Okay, I just want to know, how are you? I said, I'm doing my best. How are you? I'm blessed. Can I pray for you? I said, sure, go ahead. And I muted up. And she started to pray and say all this other stuff. And then at the end, you know, I said, okay, thank you, amen. And then she was like, well, ask me if I was all good, or started asking me questions. So she said, God got a word for me. I was like, okay, cool. And, you know, she asked me something. And I was like, she said, you know, you want to know why they do that? Oftentimes, it's because they're not really prophets. They got to ask you things. And then I'm going to tell you how funny it was. Right? Because you got to have a team behind you to do what these people do. And she did have a team behind her. But I could see straight through the veil. And y'all got to learn to see through the veil. So her thing was to look like she was reading me as a prophet. But she didn't read me. What she did was she read my comment in the chat. And the comment in the chat was translate, or what was the translation of what you just said in tongues. Right? So instead of answering the question, she was about to do what? Make a spectacle of the situation. And in her mind, I was just some random person coming in to ask a question or trying to, you know what I mean, to attack or da-da-da-da. No. She had to see it for what it was, and it happened real quick. So she asked me a question. I said, no, I'm going to hear you out first. It fucked up the whole plan from the beginning because you keep answering their questions back and back and back. Then, you know what I'm saying? I said, I just want to hear you out. I want to hear what you said. And then she kept asking, and she went into the, you know, you rap. I'm like, do you rap? I said, yeah, I do. You know what I'm saying? Now I'm playing the game. Yeah, I rap. Because you're looking into me for one, and meaning you researching, and you got people back channeling you, message you saying, that's phase one. Watch out. He this, that, or the third, woo. I'm telling you, when I go into a room, the moment they realize I'm there, no matter what Clubhouse room it is, I stomped through the Clubhouse streets. You had to be there. It was unbelievable. This is how a lot of the celebrities found out who I was before my Instagram account blew up, because I was one of the ones who was originally invited to the Clubhouse. I took and stomped all over the Clubhouse streets. You understand? These people still trauma bonding about it because as soon as I pop up in the rooms, what do? They get antsy. You see what I'm saying? So she didn't know at first. No, people were telling her. She said, do you rap? I said, yeah, I do. I rap. Yeah, is your rap about the Lord? I said, I do. I attribute a lot of my music to the Most High, the Lord. But some people probably won't see it that way. I said, because I speak about certain things that are going on in the community, social injustices and the likes. He said, okay, well, that's all right. And then she was like, well, we're going into, we're going to have some questions. We want people to be able to ask and try spirits and So I mic'd when after she was done saying, I said, well, can I ask you some questions? She said, of course, sure. This is what we want. I asked this lady one question. I said, can you translate what it was that you said when you were speaking in tongues? She said, well, that was between me and God. That was just a language between me and the Father. And when you hear it, what happens is you're able to hear what the message is that comes after it in English. So what you heard was me getting the message, and then I said it to you in English. So, we went back and forth on a second on that. And then I said, okay, cool. I said, well, can I ask you one more question? She said, sure, go ahead. I said, yes, it's about the translation thing. She said, well, now's not the time for that. Now, what's so interesting is less than 7 minutes ago, you just said tonight was the night for spirits to be able to be tried and And when she said what she said, I said, well, in the name of Jesus, Emmanuel, do you grant me the permission to try your spirit? Now's not the time for you know who you're dealing with. And when she said what she said, and we're going in, after she was done, I said, thank you for your time. Peace be on all of you. And I left. Why? Because some people don't know what try the spirit mean. Some people think try the spirit mean you walk in and you cuss some people out and go off and slap somebody upside the head, push them down and say, nigga, not in my father's house, That's only one side of what Jesus did in one part of the story. Trying the spirit is walking in when you've done the work. Try it. You got to do it. I'm not going to say try it, do it. Take 3 months to focus on yourself. Most of it's going to go over your head anyway if you're not somebody that's actually invested in the walk. Your own walk, not mine. Take 3 months to actually focus on yourself. Exercising, eating right, no pornography, no lusting around, fighting around, sleeping around, whoop the whoop, getting drunk, all that. Take 3 months and just really just lock in on you to the point where it's actually uncomfortable for you and everybody around you because you so in your head figuring it out that people feel like you ain't rocking with them no more. You acting funny. You ain't coming around no more and It might be issues in your relationship because people don't, I'm talking about you take yourself to that side of the mountain and then go and walk in a room. That's going to try people's spirits. When they feel what come with you, they know. Let me give you an example. Jesus didn't walk up on the demoniac character and say, yo, I'm here. Niggas already know who I am. Y'all niggas lay down and stay down. Nah, Jesus just walked up. Like the nigga doing in the video. Jesus just walked up. The demoniac was like, hey, all right, Lord, check this out. Hey, look, fuck all that. We know who you is. We know who you is. Jesus ain't even had to say nothing. Hey, hold on, nigga. We know, hey, check this out. Them pigs. We finna go on and get in them pigs. Then we finna go on and drown ourselves. They would rather, listen, you know how much of a lethal nigga you gotta be? You walk up on some niggas and they rather incarnate into some pigs and drown they damn self. Nigga, they ain't even want to drown they self as no spirit, nigga. They want to drown they self as a pig so that they could be sucked down back into hate. You have to understand what type of power you have to walk into a temple and everybody freeze. Or walk up on people in their conscious community events and they got to do triple takes, not double. Is that him? Nigga, you walk up in the most unexpected time, unexpected place, unexpected apparel, unexpected organization, or you by yourself. You don't know. You never know. I might be with 50 niggas. I might be with 50 bags of chips. You never know. You know how powerful it is to walk in and that is you testing the spirit? So she felt it. She told me, now's not the time for that. Why you think that's okay to say? Your name is Apostle such and such Kelly. I ain't never heard of you. So I just want to ask you, because I know what apostle means. And if you're an apostle, that means apostello. Somebody sent you from far away. They sent you off. Apostello. Go look it up. So I not only want to know what the hell you was just saying to interest, and no profile photo, and they say they want to try. If your soul on point, nigga, you got all the time. This is so crazy. It's like you can't make this up. And I'm not picking on you. But while I'm saying this, somebody enter into the live and their name is I Am a Prophetess officially. It's like, I feel like the realm be trying to like pick on me. I feel like life be trying to like pick on me. Like, I think they be programming shit. Okay, he doing a live thing. People watching. Okay, fuck with him real quick. Send him somebody. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna pick on you though, but I'm saying there are people out here now literally calling themselves prophets and literally calling themselves apostles. And I went into the clubhouse rooms and I ran into those people. And it's groups of them. And it's like they can't handle questions. How you gonna try a spirit if they can't be questioned? I'm gonna say that one more time. How you gonna try a spirit if they can't be questioned? Y'all let these people run amok. A lot of these people ran amok. Nature Boy ran amok. Rashad and Brother Polite and these niggas ran amok. You understand that? And these people took over the conscious community. I want you to think about this real quick. How do y'all think a sit down with me and Young Pharaoh would go? Think about it in your brain. I'm talking about an actual conversation, back and forth, time to speak, question and answer, and a debate section, whatever you want to do. How y'all think that'll really go? Just think about it. I'm not asking you to choose no sides or nothing. I'm just asking you to really just think about that for a second. How you think a sit down with me and Rashad Jamal would go? I mean, no internet clips and edit videos, TikToks, no smoofy gangs and people running around with the reflection, all that. Niggas jumping in front of you saying, let me get them. None of that, just you. You, no antics, no clippings, no AI, just you and me. You see? How you think that'll go? A lot of people deflected and ran by saying he ain't worth the time. We on the world stage, nigga was saying he ain't worth the time. A lot of people pushed out and tried to go another direction because they realized from watching, which is what they do, and they're in here doing it now. Some of these people, you don't know who they are, but they're in here. They watch and they listen and say, this nigga is like, bro, you cannot fuck with him on any of this shit. If a nigga sit in front of me and say, Zeus translates to spider, I ain't gonna say, I'm gonna say, show me. Beyond 5D is not an interviewer. That's a dick rider. You got to know the difference. You dick ride whoever the fuck you think got motion at the time so that you can have your face somewhere around that community. That's agent behavior. When are you going to show that you are a teacher or offer something to these people in these communities? But no, nigga, you just want to talk to niggas and record it that you fan out about. That's not the same shit. You don't even talk about shit that be going on in real time. You don't even be talking about shit. You just want to talk to niggas, and that's weird. Now, it's people that interview people. I'm not trying to say you can't interview people. Don't get it twisted. I'm just telling you, the nigga Beyond 5D whole motion is just talking to niggas about niggas. And whoever he talking to at the time, that's who he loyal to. We know about them niggas, don't we? It's them niggas that walk around in the mall behind the huncho, waiting on the huncho nigga to buy him something. You know what I mean? Picking up the dirt off his damn khakis and shit. Do you need anything else? Bro, you know what I'm saying? Rubbing the niggas' shoulders. We know about them niggas. Where your motion? How you Beyond 5D and you ain't produced anything, but you can produce a conversation. And you don't fact check niggas when they talking to you. Niggas, these folks say anything. They get on there and say anything. You know what I mean? I don't expect 607 Unc to question the nigga asking no real shit. 607 Unc know the game. He just playing the game. These folks don't really give a fuck about what's really going on. These niggas say, bro, the Anunnaki translate the spiders. And Zeus translate the spiders. And y'all think I'm just saying that. That nigga said Zeus and the Anunnaki translate to spiders. I want everybody right now, when you get an opportunity, right? Write it down, put it in your brain. When you get an opportunity, you go look and see if that shit translate to spiders. Go do it when you get some time. See if Anunnaki got shit to do with spiders, nigga, and see if Zeus got anything to do with spiders. And every time that nigga Pharaoh speak, he lick his damn tongue out. And y'all swear everybody in the motherfucking Congress is reptilians, and you never saw the nigga that can't talk without hiccuping, licking his tongue out? Don't you think he might be out of his damn environment too long trying to stay around y'all? Never mind. Never mind. Your Pharaoh just a regular person. I know niggas who can talk without hiccuping every 3 seconds. What's going on with your diaphragm while you breathing this air? I know niggas who can talk without tasting the air around them. Did you hear that? Did I hear that, nigga? What the fuck is you talking about? Put your tongue back in your mouth where it belongs, nigga. It's only 2 type motherfuckers who we know that gonna lick their tongue out when they talking. It's only 2 type niggas we know. So you either a reptilian or you an ally, nigga. It's one of them, though. You can't be. But you can't be nothing but one on. That's why the nigga on 607 Unc shit, and you saw the nigga in the blue jogging suit who talking to him how he was talking to him, because he was definitely what he is. He kept saying, friend, let me talk. Friend? Oh, shit. That nigga either a reptilian or ally. The hell? Every time the nigga make a point, he say, You know what I mean? Zeus translates to spider. And y'all think I worry about a nigga who got 2 ad-libs he can't control. Yeah, so that's just an Anunnaki. Hey, y'all talking about they did something to that man. That nigga been licking his tongue out for 10 years, nigga. Y'all ain't never noticed that shit, did you? Never noticed. He the official Slither. The official. The fuck is you talking about? Gun of them got influenced by this nigga. The hell is you saying? Like, but hey, these false prophets rose up and ran amok. These false messiahs rose up and ran amok. And y'all followed behind them blindly. And then I said, knock, knock, knock. Tell them all, let's play. The nigga 607 asked, did you have some smoke? Did you get a phase 1? He was like, no. But anybody who wants to be friends, if you're in the black community, you can talk to me. Oh yeah, he had all that shit different. But nigga, you don't remember we did talk. We did on Clubhouse, but they protected you. I only had a certain amount of time to be able to speak. They protected you by getting me up out of there because you was the nigga who they wanted to be in that room. Fuck you talking about, nigga. Y'all don't make these people y'all messiahs. Don't make nobody. Let's get this clear. Don't make nobody your messiah. Don't make nobody your messiah. Don't make nobody your messiah. Anybody claiming to be any type of messiah, you put them to the test first before you even try to figure out what the fuck they selling. You put them to the test first before you say, let me just listen and see. Nah, put them to the test first, because you may assume that you have the capacity mentally to just sit and listen and see what somebody's talking about. But the longer you sit and listen and see what the manipulator has to say, you're being manipulated. The longer you sit and listen and try to see what the motherfucker who has a degree in psychosis has to say, you're being psychosinated. It's just happening. And people don't even know that that's what's happening. Next thing you know, you're saying what they're saying. You're repeating what they're repeating. And you're not thinking for yourself. And I want to make sure we get this 100% clear. Some of y'all think that because you in here on this live or been around or seen certain things, been around, you think you're exempt. You're not exempt. But Faith, I'm not listening to these niggas. I'm walking with you. Nigga, let me ask you a real question. If you ain't still caught up in the spell, I'm gonna ask you a real question. How the fuck you know I ain't making up everything I'm saying? How the fuck do you know I ain't just saying some shit? How the fuck you know I ain't some bitter nigga that's just mad? I'm telling all the shit they be trying to say. How the fuck you know they ain't right? How you know they ain't telling the truth about me? Because you're getting too caught up in what a nigga could say or a nigga's display. All right? That's how motherfuckers wind up being a dedicated customer or client for somebody's business all off of one commercial. Niggas still waiting. Like I told y'all, niggas still waiting on that perfect burger from Burger King. They don't even make those. Every time you order, it's the same shit from there. It's the same shit. They slap it in the bag. You ain't never seen the shit that they put on the commercial. Right? All right, now think about it. Remember when they did that meeting of the gods, meeting of the masters and all the other shit? And it was so beautiful and the promotion and all that. Remember when they did the 9 ether thing and they had Shiva sitting there? I said, that don't even make sense. Shiva 7 ether. These niggas don't know what the fuck they doing. Remember when they was doing all that promo and it was powerful and cosmic, and then you got there and it was just tables and shit to sell and a nigga standing up there with a microphone. I said, this is just an open mic. That's what it was. But when they were promoting it to you, it had all the starry shit. It had, look on the screen right now. See all the galaxies. Nigga, I don't even have no robe like that. I ain't never walked in no environment with no burning buildings like that, nigga. I ain't never fought no demons like that. But you see these visuals as a motherfucker if you don't know. These visuals is a motherfucker if you don't know. See, if I'm Rashad Jamal, nigga, and I stay in unit number 7 in apartment 39, the fuck is you talking about? And I make an image and I post it and it's just a Photoshop copy of me dressed up like a pharaoh with the crook and the flail. Guess what? Your brain isn't thinking to itself, this is a Photoshop image with somebody that I fuck with. Your brain is thinking, this nigga's a pharaoh. Nigga, the pixels on the screen are a pharaoh. That's not a pharaoh. You see? Now, if I AI myself crisscross applesauce floating on the motherfucking cloud, nigga, I'm not crisscross applesauce floating on the motherfucking cloud. I can't even do crisscross applesauce. I need AI to do crisscross applesauce. That ain't never been my shit. But if you see an image of a nigga sitting crisscross applesauce, your brain not gonna say that nigga can't eat crisscross applesauce, sit on no cloud. You gonna be like, that nigga must be a motherfucking messiah, nigga. You need to know what these images do. That's real magic. What you think I'm beanie nigga ass and AI for? You better know what these images do, nigga. You better know what they really do. I'm gonna tell you what they do. You see an image of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, right? Okay, with his crown on, the crown thing, standing in front of the microphones, right? The camera is at a low angle. You know what that means? That means that I'm presenting you an image of authority. You don't never see no images of the most Honorable Elijah Muhammad in his drawers with a t-shirt on, standing in the kitchen, making himself something to eat. Cause that ain't nothing powerful. So ain't nobody finna make no images or put no images out of what a nigga really do in his everyday motherfucking life, nigga. You ain't always sitting at no podium. Every time we see Noble Drew Ali, he sitting somewhere, his leg crossed, sitting on the throne, feather on his head. Nigga, I wanna know, how did you fish? Nigga, I wanna see what it looked like when you was fishing, nigga. You know I can Google and see Dr. York fishing. Big ass t-shirt on. Nigga, you know I can look and find an image of Dr. York in a Kango hat, in a jumpsuit, nigga. Do you know? I can see images of Dr. York with a t-shirt on and jeans, nigga. Do you know? I can see images of this nigga Dr. York eating a sandwich, nigga. I say I can relate to this nigga. I could be myself, cause this nigga being himself. I eat sandwiches, he eats sandwiches, we twins. You try to figure out why the NOI all look like this nigga Honorable Elijah Muhammad, or all walking and talking like the nigga Honorable Elijah Muhammad, or all staring like the nigga Far Muhammad. Cause nigga, that's the only images they got. Every time they see that nigga, he's standing the same way. I guess that's how I'm supposed to stand. They swim like that. Yup, straight up and down. You make it make sense for yourself. I ain't got time. Shit, nigga. You got to know what these images do, right? Yo, why they had to do all that extra ass shit when they were painting Jesus? Nigga, just paint him. Why the fuck this nigga clothes got to be blowing in the wind? Nigga, I know he wasn't standing there with no clothes blowing in the wind, because how did you keep your canvas from blowing away? The fuck? I know how the more horizontal your scarf is, nigga, the heavier the damn wind. And you telling me it's a nigga sitting there say, I got you. What you talking about? Stand still. Nigga, how? 900-mile winds. Why the fuck they gotta have all the holy niggas clothes blowing and shit? Nigga, hey, that's just imagery. That's not real life. They'll never show Jesus getting a splinter. I want to see Jesus. I want to see Jesus talking about some owl. Fuck you talking about, nigga, shit be heard. You ain't never see Jesus getting no splinter, nigga. The hell? Always some holy shit. Yeah, shit. Always extra. Everybody sitting on one side of the table. Nigga, do some regular shit. That's all I'm saying. Y'all better know about these images and what these niggas want to look like. They got to put on a display. Y'all see me, I go live, nigga. I be sitting here laying on the floor, nigga. What you talking about, nigga? Towel on my head. People walking past me. These niggas got to put on a display. They go live. They got to get the amethyst, put it in front. They got to put the incense. They got to get the sage and a blunt. They got to grease themselves up. They got to stand in the center. They got to put a chakra chart up. Nigga, all that shit is imagery. You better know what images do. In your mind, you thinking this nigga spiritual. No, this nigga can afford crystals. You ever thought about that? You ever thought about that? That's the spiritualest shit a nigga could do is afford sage, nigga. And because they said and lit that bitch up in front of you, you like, oh, this nigga must be this nigga is a wizard. Because if he can convince you that he's saying some real shit because he need all that extra shit to say some real shit, then yeah, that nigga's a motherfucking wizard. But watch this. Yeah. And somehow I'm still saying some real shit. And do you notice? Most of the time when I'm on live, I ain't even showing my motherfucking face. I could easily make y'all think I'm literally reporting live from the Nibiru. Nigga, do you know who you dealing with? I could easily walk out. Nigga, I got a pyramid in my backyard. I have a pyramid in my backyard. Nigga, do you know how many followers I could have off that shit? Nigga, I got a pyramid in my back. All I gotta do is say live from the pyramids, nigga, and I could just post it up a certain angle, nigga. They gonna say, I don't know where this nigga at. Nigga, I wear all white. Fuck is you talking about? I put on some big ass crystals. Nigga, I got some big ass crystals I can put on. That ain't for TV. I'll get some big, and I got a staff too, nigga. Do you know what the fuck you can make happen with a staff, some crystals, a white sheet, and a pyramid, nigga? Do you know it's about the images? And still, it's 75 motherfuckers in here right now looking at a black screen. Why? Because, nigga, I ain't trying to convince you of some damn images. It's what I'm saying that I want you to be able to take and use. Use it how? Use it to be up under me? Hell no. Use it to realize you ain't supposed to be up under no motherfucking body. Nigga, the internet got people brain fried. You ain't supposed to be up under no motherfucking body. Think about it. Do you really want to be up under a nigga? Just think about it. A nigga asks you who you up under, you should feel offended. What you talking about? Oh, you be up under Rashad Jamal? Think about being up under Rashad Jamal, niggas. Yeah, you starting to feel a little smoothie your damn self. Hell, you look like being up under a nigga in a trailer with a knot on his head. You send her up under the nigga. You know ain't no damn shower nowhere near that motherfucking trailer, nigga. You know ain't no damn shower nowhere near that motherfucking trailer, nigga. You know it ain't. You know it ain't. Cause ain't nobody gonna be that damn mad every day and they took a good ass shower. How many people take a good How many people take a good ass shower and get out like how many niggas take a good ass, I'm talking about a good ass shower. And you know you gotta go through some shit. So you gotta know, like, every good ass shower don't start off like no good ass shower. It's after you done got motherfucking shit off you and you start feeling how that shit don't feel oily no motherfucking more, nigga. You start feeling like I might be holy in the motherfucker. You start thinking like I'm that nigga right now. You know what you about to do when you get out this motherfucker. You get out the damn shower, nigga. You feel like life is better. You got that towel, you get to pat it on yourself, you feel that air. Boy, what you talking about? You ain't gonna tell me no nigga getting out the shower talking about, where's phase one? And y'all wanna be under a nigga. Nigga, ain't nobody you supposed to be under. Not me, not nobody. You ain't even supposed to be under Dr. Malachi York, nigga. Is you okay? He will want you up under him. Real niggas don't want no niggas up under them. Cause we don't need niggas under us to make us feel like we that nigga. Nigga, we that nigga before niggas meet us. Nigga, why the fuck would we want niggas up under us? Notice, I'm saying men. Now, women... Fuck you talking about, nigga, the fuck? Hey, nigga, show me a woman motherfucking leader, nigga. I'll be up under the woman motherfucking leader, nigga. The hell is you talking about, nigga? I have some women up under me, nigga. The hell is you talking about, nigga? I don't want no niggas up under me looking up at me, asking me what's next. Nigga, that's gonna irritate the shit out me. That's the problem. Stop trying to find people to be under. You see? You need to be studying. You need to be the one that know the shit that's going on in the world. You need to be the one that know how many bones you got in your hand. You need to be the one that know what the fuck the difference between eukaryotic or eukaryote and prokaryote or prokaryotic is. You need to know what a somatic cell is, nigga. You need to know this shit. The fuck is you sitting here waiting on another nigga to tell you this shit? Most of the time, all we really doing is telling you some shit with a whole bunch of other words and movements attached to it that you could have sat there in 3 seconds, Googled that shit, knew it, and now you ain't indebted to nobody. But you gotta watch the images. You gotta pay attention to that. That got a lot of people stuck. You see? No, Nature Boy couldn't just beat a nigga with the taper. He had to go get feathers and put them on his head. Bunch of rainbow feathers. I'm not lying. He had to put a bunch of rainbow feathers on his head so he could prove to you that he the Christ. It's them damn images. Now you say, FaZe, don't that apply to Malachi? Hell yeah, it apply to Malachi, nigga. Who the fuck you think I learned that from? He was telling people, nigga, it's these images and what people make shit look like that got these motherfuckers geeked out they damn mind, nigga. So if I'm telling you I learned that from him, he wasn't using that on us. Fuck you talking about, nigga, and the shit I'm doing, I ain't using it on people who fuck with me. But I will fuck with a motherfucker that think they finna fuck with me. You know what I'm saying? You better know about these images. Think about all of them. Only one I can say don't really have no images because he was just lazy hair, fatty hair, and that Bobby Hemmitt. He ain't even want to make it. How long it's gonna take? Now I'm just gonna go ahead and teach. I gotta get something to eat. He ain't want them to pay him. Fuck you talking about? That the only nigga that do it, he ain't do all that extra ass image shit. That nigga walked in with a big ass t-shirt. He already big as hell. Yo, don't you hate that shit? Nigga be big as hell, collar still don't connect to his neck. Hey, nigga, you got enough motherfucking room to make the shit make sense. Nigga still walk in with a size 3 times too big. Nigga, that's not your shit. The fuck? This nigga Bobby Hemmitt didn't do all that extra shit. He ain't finna put on no gown because they don't make him in his size, for one. That nigga Bobby Hemmett used to wear the same ass red collar shirt, nigga. You know the fuck shirt I'm talking about. That nigga put on that same shirt. That was his uniform. He put on him some dress pants, dress shoes. He go lean on the podium and talk to you about Baphomet. He ain't got no time for all that extra shit. I fuck with Bobby Hemmett for that, nigga. He wasn't trying to do all that extra shit. Got niggas carrying him in and shit, dying. Y'all ain't doing it right. Why y'all dragging me? What the fuck you mean why they dragging you, nigga? You can't be no damn Pharaoh. Pharaoh's got away enough and not too damn much to be carried, nigga. You can't get on no nigga's shoulders doing all that extra ass shit. Eating ass nigga. Shit, but hey, shout out to Bobby Hemmett. He ain't do all that extra ass shit. I gotta give it to him, but he was too tired. He couldn't get to the damn painting spot. What are you talking about? They had to keep passing them up. Y'all better watch these images. A lot of people brainwashed about this shit. And it's with the music industry too. A lot of the people y'all believe in as these artists, a lot of it's just shit, let me see if I got some of this shit to show you what I'm talking about, nigga. It's just images, right? It ain't what you seeing. You know what I'm saying? It's like the environment that's provided by it. You believing like this is associated with the person. And because of that, when that happens, like when you think of the person, you still keep that image in your brain. And if you don't know what degree is being passed on, nigga, then I'll be talking to you and you don't understand why the fuck we even having a conversation. I'm gonna see if I can find it. Matter of fact, let's look at one of the images that Pops did. Because people use this image all the time. Images that Pops did. Right? This is Reshkian Morzaku coming off of the ship, the Shams. And you see the green light, you see them with the white on, you see them hanging, you see their clothes blowing in the wind. This shit always blowing. Now, this makes sense that the clothes blowing, though, because you see the ship's going to have that propulsion, nigga. It's going to make some motherfucking wind. That makes sense. Now, look, in a lot of people's mind, when they thinking about Dr. York, right, this what they thinking about, this image. Think about what I'm saying, because that image is in their brain. So when they think about Dr. York, that image pop up in their brain. So when it comes to somebody being locked up in prison, they like, nah, he finna get out. He gonna get himself out or all that. It's what people would think, especially back then, because they see these images and they believe in just the image. They're not looking at the reality of it. The reality is this is an image. This is not a photograph. This has never happened. What you're looking at has never occurred. You have not seen this image ever. You never witnessed this. This is a painting. You see the beautiful jewels up there that are adorning the craft? Okay, you have never seen that. You with me? Those same jewels appear on the book. You never seen the array or the row of crystals aligned on a vast ship with green light coming out of it, with people coming down from it. Does that mean that it doesn't exist? No. It means that if you're only stuck on the image, you'll be under a spell. Then when it's time to activate real action, like he said on a call, you're like, what's happening to Wabi? He said, activate yourselves again. When it's time to activate yourselves again, you ain't even gonna know what that means. You know, if you say the word activate, it has become a spiritual word. Think about what I'm saying. Genetic activation. Spiritually activated. I'm activated. Activate is not a spiritual word, nigga. You activate your car, don't you? When you get in your car, you jigga, jigga, jigga. That's activation. Don't you activate your voluntary muscles when it's time, when you wake up? Don't you activate those and use them and get up out the bed? That's not spiritual. So think about what I'm saying. People say phase one, you coming at everybody. You coming at people that's doing the real work. They done actually did something for the community. All right, real quick, don't lie, and I want you to do your best. All these conscious community leaders, prophets, messiahs, and the like, what have they actually done for the communities of black people, white people, any people? All of them alike. What have they actually done for the communities? I'll wait. And while we're waiting, I want to bring your attention to something so that you can keep your mind open about it. cults are real. And they grow. And they expand. Remember I said the conscious community is a cult. And they have a whole bunch of cult leaders. They have a bunch of cult leaders. And these people are clicked up in cults. How do you know? You have to go on tests. Just ask questions. When Rashad Jamal back was to the wall, he didn't take accountability. When his back was to the wall, he reinforced that his followers were against everybody out in the world. And when that wasn't working anymore, because a lot of these people still going and doing their own thing, he said, all of the people, including people like Arcades Can See. Think about it. Arcades a young nigga. Arcades Can See, the nigga Big Homie CC, who I still to this day don't know who or why that is. They said Arcades Can See, Big Homie CC. Nigga, they said Isis Wisdom was CIA. Think about it. Isis Wisdom was one of Rashad Jamal's biggest supporters. Fangirls, all that. Arcades Can See was one of his biggest supporters. He was at the trial. I'm not going to say fanboy, but he fucked with him. Bedell shouted him out, all that extra shit. It's a lot of, I think damn near everybody on that list saluted him. Except Phase One, because I know he was flawed. But he said all these people work for the CIA. Listen to what I'm saying. That's a cult leader. That's a cult leader. Because you're exhibiting grandiose. You're exhibiting narcissistic tendencies. You're exhibiting that you're willing to damage or cause harm to your followers, to yourself, all of that when your back get put against the wall because you're putting these people to a harmful situation of thinking that all these people is agents and going out and attacking them and you don't know what you're exposing them to just because your back against the wall. As opposed to saying, who said they want to talk to me? Oh, this guy named Phase One? All right, tell him let's talk. If he true blue, let's see. Get him on the phone. You got on the phone with Arcades, rest of these people. All right, you're a cult leader. They're not lying on you. Nature Boy is a cult leader. He had these people running around on their knees worshiping him. You need to go and research cults so you can understand what I'm saying and make sure you ain't operated in one. The nigga Nature Boy had people bowing down, kissing his feet, talking about the black man is God, women and men. He still got people out here saying he's the dreamer. He's Jesus Christ. Nigga, the King James book is about him. And man, y'all better pay attention. This is how they play the game. The game is when they do get called out for the shit they doing, then the government set them up because they're doing something for black people. You weren't doing nothing for black people. You were doing something for your pockets. And because you were doing something for your pockets and you mixed it in with black people, you might have gave them a reason to look into you. And when they looked into you, they saw all the other shit that was going on. Don't just put it on them women over there. Put it on the reality. The reality, nigga, is shit. It could happen to Phase One. If I make the wrong moves and get them people wanting to be looking into what the fuck I got going on, whether the shit is true or not. But the reality is you still got to know what the fuck you dealing with. You coming out talking about these folks over here supposed to be germs and bacteria on the planet and fucking tuberculosis. Nigga, you starting to sound like somebody that led mass genocides. Nigga, he was saying the same shit. And that's how they could say these people is running a cult. New Hitler, this, that. They could say that. You got Hitler rhetoric. That's not my thing. My thing is, if you pay attention, what do they be saying? You done built your whole following off of talking about other niggas. No, all right, can you say that again? But just say it a little closer to this device so I can record this and show this to them folks. Because, nigga, if you saying you witnessed that I, quote unquote, built my whole following off talking about other niggas, then what you're really saying is I'm not trying to come up with no cult. What I'm saying and what I'm doing is pulling people out of them. Simple. Some people started off in the cult when they met me. I pulled you up out of it. But I didn't pull you under me. I don't got nobody worshiping me. Nobody bowing down to me. Niggas question me all the time. I answer them. You can disagree with me. I don't give a fuck. We still gonna make shit work. We still gonna make shit move. We talking about doing real things in real life. Niggas building on themselves every day. Women building on themselves every day. And nobody worshiping nobody. You get what I'm saying? These people wanted to be worshiped. Why? They didn't feel like they amounted to it by themselves. You see? Now, they can try to say Dr. York is a cult leader. Here's what I'll say to you. A lot of Nuwaubians act like we in a damn cult because they are not real students of what he actually taught. So they act like we in a cult. They act like we're doing cult things because they don't understand what the actual teaching is about. And that's becoming a master. I'm a student of Dr. Malachi Z. York, and I'm not in a cult. I don't worship Dr. York. They be trying to get me. Remember you be saying they be trying to get me. They say, well, Dr. York said this. What? That's Dr. York. Well, that's your teacher. That had nothing to do with anything. Let's go back to your teacher when you was in elementary school. Yeah? Did they do coke? Well, yeah, you just said your teacher did cocaine, correct? Yeah. Okay. Do you do cocaine? No. Did you still learn what the fuck your teacher taught? Yeah. All right. On the flip side of that, if you said Dr. York has a belief that XYZ, he from this or he did that, whoop, whoop, that's him. I'm not in it for that. That confuses people because they think if you learn it from a nigga, then you got to be what? Up under a nigga. Man, nah, nigga, that's not what we were taught. Now, a lot of these people were out here living their life. They're not real students. I was born into it, so I really studied. And I didn't study to be indoctrinated. I studied to figure out what is all of this for. Now, I want to ask y'all this with no ego attached. I just want you to think about it so that you know I ain't trying to indoctrinate you right now. Out of everyone who out here trying to kick it or saying that they're a student, whoop the whoop, who have you observed that applied Nuwapu the most? Applied it. You don't have to say me. I'm saying who, if you don't even have to answer. The reason why I'm asking that because Nuwapu is not regurgitating doctrine. These people know. I just went in one of the rooms recently. I said, hey, yo, check this out. I want to go OSM Vision, y'all. I said, let's go live. I'll come on y'all platform. I want to ask y'all some questions in real time about the doctrine and the way of life. They didn't give no response. They jumped in and started responding to everybody else. To them and they little group, they think that mean they slighting me. You're not slighting me. You're documenting why phase 1 is necessary. You could do all the extra stuff, but you documenting why I'm necessary. Why am I necessary? Because that's real Nuwapu. Real Woo Whoop ain't no going back and forth and yelling and talking and whoop about this, that. No, let's have a conversation on live in front of everybody so I can ask you real questions and you can't do none of the segueing and dipping around the corner, none of that. They don't want to do that. Why? I'm telling you why. Because they don't know what they're talking about. They don't know. I asked them a question that killed a lot of the business too. A lot of this is about money. So I asked, when and where is the next pickup? No response. They jumped in talking to other people. They jumped over the phase 1 question. Do you get what I'm explaining to you? They don't know when and where the next pickup is or if there is one. They don't know. This means they're not of the knowing. So look at what I'm saying. Y'all tell me if this makes sense. If the doctrine says around 2030, people supposed to be leaving the planet, think about it. If that's the doctrine and they believe that and they standing on that, right? Wouldn't it make sense to know when and where? Now, what y'all think it mean if the last pickup is 2030? Think about it. Think about what I'm about to ask you. Because by the time this happens, all the bullshit gonna be over anyway. You'll see. Do I miss? If 2030 is when the pickup occurs, what it mean, y'all, if 2034 come and everybody's still here? Think about what I'm asking you. You want to know what they're going to say? I'm telling you what they're going to say. and depending on where you at, you'll hear them say it. They'll say, it's because we didn't come together. Now, here's what they counting on. They counting on Malachi not coming out. And let me tell you why. Because Malachi not coming out to them means 40 more years of prophet without having to report to him. That's sad, ain't it? They calculate he's going to be here for 120 years. Listen to what I'm saying, and we got to get out of here. They calculate he's going to be here for 120 years. That's what they watch, and that's what they believe. They don't really want to help him out. They don't want him out because when he come out, all that money-making stuff, all that, it go down the drain. And they're counting on him staying in there because then they can convince people that he translated, right? And he's waiting for them on the ship. It's sad. It's fucked up. And it's true. That thing, if he would have passed, they would say that he translated and he's waiting for us on the ship. So now we got to all come together so that we can get on the ship. You see? And then after that, meaning past 2030 and 2033, that 3-year window, past that time period, they would still be saying the ship was waiting. Listen what I'm telling you. They would still be saying the ship is waiting. And we got another 13 years to get onto the ship. And they're going to pull up the holy tablets where it said and say, and then we can all leave with him. He's waiting for us on the ship. Then you're going to have people saying they're in communication with him. They talking to him. Da-da-da-da-da-da. I got a message from Baba. It's going to be people who they already say got abilities and stuff, who they already sworn up under. Da-da-da-da. That would be their game. That's why they don't want him out. Because they know they can play this for them. Think about what I'm telling you. If somebody really think they're leaving the planet, why are they talking about wanting to open up a restaurant? If you think you're traveling the galaxies, why are you opening up a restaurant? Huh? Now, is that any different from Heaven's Gate? No, it's not. Only difference is we in it. We in the middle of it. So there are no case studies on it. There are no, you know what I'm saying? Only thing is they do documentaries on Dr. York, who he's in this right now. We in this situation right now. They do documentaries on him, say he's a cult leader, all this other stuff. He's the only one that's been able to show and prove certain things up to this point. However, Dr. York is not exempt. Let's get this clear. The man isn't exempt. You supposed to put him to the test too. That's what make this real. If you going around and you can't answer questions when it comes to him, and you know what I'm saying, that you're no different, then for you and your operation, you are in a cult. But when it's time to put somebody to the test, if they don't want to be questioned, then you automatically know, yeah, that nigga running a cult. Dr. York don't mind being questioned. Okay, so put him to the test. But what they do, they try to keep him in there so that can't occur. So if this is a real thing that we experiencing, a lot of people ain't gonna know no motherfucking way, because if there's something that can be done to allow for anybody to get the fuck up out of here, and they're telling you ain't nobody gonna be able to do it except him, then why the hell wouldn't they be moving to get him out? They don't believe that. These people don't really believe that there is a Nibiru, Mothership, Redskins, none of that. They don't really believe that. When they get off these apps and they go live their life, they're just living their life. Then they come back, it's like cosplay. I want to make sure y'all understand, don't get caught up in no cosplay anywhere. Now look at it like this. If you can say, check this out. If you can say, all right, I went all over, I saw everything's a cult. And then you got to Nuwapu. Look at Nuwapu. Nuwapu's the highest degree. If you find out that Nuwapu was hoopla, you beat the game. Look at what I'm saying. If you find out Nuwapu was fake, then you beat the game. Because this is the most advanced shit that ever touched this motherfucking planet, nigga. This is some other level shit. If you find out that was a game, then you beat the game. If you find out it was true, guess what you did? You beat the game. But you gotta do that diligence. So don't believe these people. Now y'all need to be asking them. You need to be asking them questions. I'm not telling nobody bully and antagonize and heckle and none of that. You need to start writing down real questions so that you can verify things for yourself. I want you to get this in your brain. If the Redskins are real, they're not going to be upset about you questioning them. What people will do if they're running a cult, or there are cults out here, or people pushing a cult, or Sabians and say they're a cult, what they'll do is they'll try to scare you out of asking questions. Why? Because they can't answer them. Now think about it. If God is coming to get you on vehicles, you can ask about what's going on with that without people trying to make it seem like you're a shadow person or Doubting Thomas and all that other stuff, which ain't even really a bad thing. Doubting Thomas is a motherfucker who needed to have right knowledge in order to move forward. He said, nigga, I need to see. The other people was a believer. But check this out. That's not a bad thing to ask the question. But if they try to make you feel like that, then you know what you're dealing with. I'm not saying Dr. York is running no cult. What I'm saying is, in order for us to find out, we got to start with the followers. You with me? So now it's officially on record. I want to talk to the Nuwaubians and Sabians. I want to talk to the Sabians not as a Sabian, as a seeker. I want to talk to the Nuwaubians not as a Nuwaubian, as a seeker. You know, it's one and the same. And I want to ask questions without people trying to do this thing that they do, which is shutting you down if you're on their platform, all this other stuff, or trying to block you out the rooms and all that. No, I want to ask you some questions that you have to really answer without playing the runaround game. I did talk to OSM. They ignored my response. But when they wanted to reach out to me, let me see if I got the email. When they wanted to reach out to me to get into that documentary, which I never responded because whatever that documentary was, Wusabat documentary, I ain't know nothing about it. Because of that, they went ahead and put me in the documentary anyway without my permission. So people think I'm a part of that, the truth of or the true, the untold story of Dr. York or the untold truth, whichever one. I didn't ask them to put me in there. As a matter of fact, I never responded. So when they put me in there, they did that without consulting with me. So I'm going to find it and show y'all that happened. But yeah, I really do want to have that conversation with them. Why? Because now I'm in my master's degree. It's official. When you go through certain things, you're in it. So now that I'm in it, I'm like, if I talk to the Nuwaubians and Sabians and I ask questions, I say, hold on now. And let me tell you what I'm not going to do, because I'm a team player. I ain't going to give these people out here the ammo to come at Nuwaubians, right? I'm going to give the Nuwaubians and the Sabians the opportunity to deal with it in real time. I know I can ask questions that stomp the Sabians. You understand that? I know that because I know them. My goal would be, though, not to give these people ammo to be running out, because they'll turn it and twist it. The same way when I came out and said 21 Savage was a Nuwaubian, what they do? They came out and they twisted it. Said 21 Savage was a part of a cult. I said, I never said that. I never said Nuwaubian was a cult, or Nuwaubians a cult, or Sabians a cult. And anybody want to run and say that after listening to what I just said, I just helped interpret it for your dumb ass. I didn't say Nuwaubian was a cult. I didn't say Sabians a cult. I said we done already beat all the other degrees. So now, why wouldn't Sabians want to be questioned if it's not a cult? So then you're given the opportunity to be questioned. What's that symbol on your chest? It's an arm sweep. How you know? We had a conversation. I'm just showing you an example of how to be. We have certain conversations. And then all the doctrine is one part. And then we get to the reality that the doctrine talks about, which is one and the same. But then it's different also. Because of Abrahamic religions and all that, that's not reality. That's something that we learned in history class. And okay, cool. So let's deal with it. What about this rapture part? Well, what do you mean? What about it? And then we go from there. What about the rapture part? I want to ask you about that because according to the clock, that's around the corner. And I'm not trying to hear all that we didn't come together, because the main people that's been standing as leaders, administrators, and house leaders, all this, they didn't come together. So something wrong. That's cult behavior, right? Telling all your followers they supposed to, be vegans and da-da-da-da, whoop-de-whoop, and never have sex and save yourself and castrate yourself and all this other stuff. Meanwhile, you're not living like that. All right? Telling people they got to work together and come together and love one another and love and unity, but you're not living like that. You're not exercising that. You're not exemplifying that, because when it comes to you, you got an excuse as to why you can't work with people who's supposed to be working on a legal fight to get your leader out of. Do you see what I'm saying? If Dr. Melikazi York is your leader and he's locked up and he's telling you, y'all got to come together in order to get me out of here, then guess what that means? If you don't exemplify that, not only does it show you don't really care about it, you don't believe what you're saying. So if you don't believe what you're saying and you want people up under you to believe what you're saying, you running a cult. Because your power comes from their belief. Now, this is where women need to be careful. Y'all women need to be careful, especially, right? Because y'all look up to brothers who exhibit intelligence. You see? Which is why a lot of people come around me. They see how the women are with me, right? They're trying to find out how I'm intelligent so they can try to mimic it. Everybody want to take from me and pull from me and try to copy and mimic, but they don't want what come with the mission. You see what I'm saying? Y'all women need to be careful because you'll be listening to the verbiage and you don't even understand. They done conducted whole studies on this, by the way. The more words a motherfucker saying, it could be dangerous because human beings biologically are wired to choose the motherfucker that says more words. So if you saying more words, it don't even mean that you're saying more things of substance. You see? So don't get it twisted. I have the ability to say a lot of words, and I will. Sometimes I won't. Sometimes I'll get on here and say something quick. Sometimes I'll pace myself a different way. I put a lot of information out at one time on the live. You know that. But there are people, a lot, many, most of these people who are in position who just say a bunch of things, the word salads, and they're never really saying anything. The conversation doesn't even really have a point. As a matter of fact, people know and observe when they look at what I'm doing, they see that this nigga specializes in remembering what the point is. And a lot of people get upset with me because they say, you keep repeating yourself. You keep wearing people down. You're saying it over and over again. I said, no, it might sound like I'm repeating myself, but what's actually happening is you keep teetering away from the point, and I have a goal in mind. Most of the time, that goal is common ground. And because of that, I have to make sure that we're maintaining the point of the interaction to begin with. Other than just saying a bunch of words and feeling like we did something that we got a point off. You get what I'm explaining to you? So you have to be cautious about that because some of y'all might be linked in with student teachers and all this other stuff that I had poking their chest out, acting like they really one of those. But they're not. They're filled with a bunch of words. You understand? Does the action meet it? You see? That's why the master teacher, Dr. Malachi York, explained that they have not moved forward in 25 years. That means there are a lot of people who know how to imitate Dr. Malachi York's teaching style and repeat his doctrine, but they're not teaching anything new. So they're not one of those. You get me? And they have no action behind it because they have not moved forward with the nation. And he never said you can't innovate. Let's get this clear. Anybody trying to tell y'all, oh, that's not the doctrine. Phase one is teaching his own thing. Dr. Malachi York encouraged the young boys. I got it on the recording audio. He encouraged the young boys who were going to be coming out to be teachers to do that. He actually congratulated one in one of the teachings, in one of the classes. He was congratulating one of the younger boys. He was like, yeah, I see these young guys teaching. You know what I'm saying? And he's like, he taught something. It didn't even come from me. He said he thought it did. He said, Apostle, you've been teaching us so much stuff. He said, I didn't teach that. You see? He said, but now I got something to talk about. He said, you know why God created other sons? Because he put some other people out there. He was repeating what the young boy taught. So if you got people out here still just regurgitating the doctrine of Dr. Malachi York, you're not a Nubian. You're not a student. So take that student off, take that teacher off, and start over. That's not what he gave. He didn't give you something to repeat. He gave you something to apply. That's why when I walk in, they got to try to deflect. And now they're getting a little smarter. We just going to ignore him. Hope he go away. All right. You don't remember they did that to Malachi. They were ignoring him and hoping that he went away. He no go away. Now you have a real situation. Now, y'all done see me go AI, crazy, smack crazy on these conscious community leaders, whoop-de-whoop. It's Sabine's turn. It's Nubian's turn. Now, because of how far we are in it, I just want to see who are y'all now? Who are y'all? This is how you see whether or not phase one is indoctrinated too. Because if I'm indoctrinated, I can't even ask questions of the motherfuckers who I came up with. I can't question the doctrine. I can't question Nuwapu. I can't question Malachi. Yes, I can. He invited it. So if anybody trying to tell you I can't, they're the ones who done bumped their head. You see, once you get that example, now, by that time, it'll be gamma. You beat the game. Do I miss? You will see it happen. Just keep watching. Just keep paying attention. From however long you came along this walk, it don't matter. All you gotta do is go back through my recordings and history, all of this stuff, and you'll see. I stuck to this. And I went through changes along the way. And because of those changes, I have to look at things differently, seeing things differently. You're gonna grow. You're gonna outgrow certain things. You say, wait a minute. I already did the whole thinking everybody was gonna come together thing. I did. I went to all the people in the community, tried to work with some of the leaders and woo. They didn't want to work, and y'all witnessed it. These people were more focused on what their personal differences was and all of that, or some money. It didn't have nothing to do about working together. So I was taught something that wasn't true growing up. I was taught that Nuwaubians are all about love and unity. That isn't true. Now, here's another thing they'll pull, and this happens. They'll pull, now you're going against the family. Now you're going against your people. You're going against your own. It's the loyalty complex. It's actually the loyalty clause. The loyalty clause is once you start figuring out something ain't right, listen, then if you go and voice it, you're a traitor. That start sounding familiar to me. Yeah? So I just want to let y'all know, the next one, real quick, hold on one second. The next ones who are to be put up to the test are the Nuwaubians and the Sabaeans. And if they duck it, you know why. It's the same reason why everybody else ducked. All right? All right. I'll talk to y'all soon. Keep your head up. We getting there.
All right, it's going to heat up. What's the precedence here? And when you set the precedence, you say God for precedence, a prayer, all right? Or what? The heavenly prayer or the daily prayer, all right? We say what? Our Father, which art in heaven, all right? Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Okay, you're saying to that kingdom, God's kingdom, to come to earth, all right? Where is the kingdom? It's in heaven, that particular kingdom. All right, the kingdom or God's kingdom. Now, you already know the kingdom of God is inside. All right, and as we explored the other day, they said that the kingdom, okay, is inside and outside in the Gospel of Thomas, which we went over on Uma's Live if you were there to catch that. All right, one of the brothers brought that forth. So look at
if a nigga got 5 followers and no profile photo, and they say they want to try my spirit, what I say when you want to go live? It be them running. It don't matter who it is. Nigga got 5 million followers, 500,000 followers, 5,000 followers, 5 followers. I say, okay, all 5 of y'all, come on, and let's get on live and let's talk about it. Do they be running? Your spirit, you ain't got nothing to run from.